There are moments in life that function like gravitational singularities, points in space-time where the known laws of your own universe bend, stretch, and are ultimately redefined. For most of my life, I understood the world through a lens of physics, of first principles, of cause and effect. I built my reality on foundation of logic, data, and relentless forward momentum. The universe was a complex but ultimately solvable equation. Emotions, particularly love, felt like chaotic variables, beautiful in their way, but too unpredictable to be foundational. Then I saw her.
I still remember the first time. It wasn't a cataclysmic event. There were no rocket launches, no roaring crowds, no blinding flashes of inspiration that led to a world-changing idea. It was the opposite. It was a moment of profound, unnerving quiet. The cacophony of my own mind, the endless stream of calculations, deadlines, and existential pressures simply ceased. It was as if the world, with all its noise and frantic energy, paused for just a moment, holding its breath. Not because time actually slowed down, but because something inside of me, a core component of my own internal operating system, shifted in a way I couldn't explain.
It was quiet, almost disconcertingly ordinary. We were in a room full of people, a symphony of meaningless chatter and polite interactions. And yet, for a heartbeat, it felt as though there were only two of us. A simple glance, a few exchanged words that were, on the surface, entirely unremarkable. But that's the thing about life's most powerful moments. They rarely announce themselves with thunderous overtures. They don't arrive with fanfare and ceremony. They arrive softly, like a whisper in a storm, and yet they leave an impact so strong, an imprint so deep, that your soul never, ever forgets. I wasn't expecting it. I certainly wasn't searching for it. My life was a series of missions, each more ambitious than the last. I was focused on everything else but love. My focus was on orbital mechanics, battery chemistry, neural interfaces, the tangible, the measurable, the problems you could engineer your way out of. And then there she was. In that single fleeting moment, everything inside me knew something was different. There wasn't just attraction, that simple biological impulse. This was something far more fundamental. There was recognition. It was as if a part of my soul I didn't even know was lost, had suddenly found its counterpart. A feeling of homecoming for a place I'd never been. It was as if my heart, that illogical, inefficient, yet undeniably powerful muscle, spoke a single clear sentence. There you are. I've been waiting for you. That first spark is never about grand gestures or poetic declarations. It's about a feeling you can't reverse engineer, a connection you can't manufacture. It's the way the very air in a room seems to change its molecular composition when they walk in. It's the way your mind, often cluttered and fatigued, becomes sharper, more vibrant, more alive, simply because they are there. I found myself replaying our brief interaction not because of what was said, but because of what was felt. I couldn't stop thinking about the way she carried herself. Wasn't with arrogance or a need for validation, but with a quiet, unshakable strength that drew me in like a planetary body into a stable orbit. Her smile wasn't just beautiful in an aesthetic sense, it was disarming. It held a kind of benevolent power, the ability to make the world feel less heavy, less complicated, and infinitely more hopeful. And in that moment, something inside me awakened. For years, I had been chasing goals, pursuing monumental dreams, building, creating, and pushing against every challenge life threw in my path. I had poured every ounce of my being into my work, believing that was the sole purpose of my existence. Yet, despite all of that, despite the successes and the failures, I suddenly realized there was a part of my soul that had been dormant, waiting for someone who could remind me what it truly means to feel alive, not just to function, not just to achieve, but to feel. The spark she lit wasn't just about romance. It was about possibility. It was about seeing the future not only through the lens of ambition and mission, but through the lens of partnership, of profound connection, of a shared purpose that was both grander and more intimate than anything I had ever conceived. Yeah, I think everyone, if they are lucky, has a moment like this, whether they recognize it in real time or only in the clarity of hindsight, a moment where life pivots, where the narrative of your existence changes direction. For me, it was the instant I met her, the instant I realized that no invention, no successful launch, no technological breakthrough could ever compare to the feeling of finding the one person who makes you believe in the concept of forever. That spark didn't just illuminate my life, it rewired it. It was the beginning of a love that would grow, deepen, and prove itself resilient enough to survive the inevitable storms ahead. It taught me that sometimes the most extraordinary parts of life begin in the most ordinary, unassuming ways. And so from that day on, I carried a new truth inside me, a new constant in my life's equation, one that would shape the rest of my journey. Because when you meet the woman you will love for a lifetime, you don't just remember the moment, you live in it forever. When I think about her now, the first thing that comes to mind isn't a physical attribute. It's not the color of her eyes or the curve of her smile, though I cherish those things dearly. It's the essence of who she is. It's her character. Beauty in its conventional form is a powerful force. It can capture attention, turn heads, and create a momentary fascination. Or it's the soul that captures the heart. And with her, it was never about appearances alone. Yes, she is undeniably beautiful, but what makes her truly extraordinary is the kind of beauty that doesn't fade with time, the kind that is immune to erosion of years. It's a beauty that emanates from her spirit, a light that comes from within. It's woven into her compassion, her integrity, and her quiet, unyielding strength. That is the kind of beauty that makes you stop, that forces you to be present, and makes you realize you are in the presence of someone truly profoundly rare. There is something remarkable about the way she treats people. She has an innate ability to see the humanity in everyone, regardless of their station or status. She listens not just to formulate a response, but to truly understand. In a world where most conversations are a competitive sport, she creates a space of genuine curiosity and empathy. She notices the small details that others overlook, subtle shift in tone, a flicker of doubt in someone's eyes, and she responds with a kindness that is both gentle and powerful. She gives of herself without expecting anything in return, not as a transaction, but as a natural extension of who she is. In a world that often feels rushed, cynical, and transactional, her kindness is revolutionary. It makes you pause, it makes you reflect, and most importantly, it makes you want to be a better version of yourself. That's when I truly understood that love, real love, is not about finding perfection in another person. Perfection is a sterile, inhuman concept. Love is about connection. It's about seeing someone's heart with all its complexities, its strengths, and its vulnerabilities, and realizing that that is the place you want to live for the rest of your life. Her strengths is another kind of beauty that I deeply admire. It's not the loud, aggressive kind of strength that demands attention and dominates a room. It's a quiet, steady, and unshakable force. It's the strength of a deep-rooted tree that bends in the wind but never breaks. When the storms of life come, and they always do, she doesn't panic. She doesn't crumble under the pressure. She stands firm with a grace and resilience that is nothing short of awe-inspiring. In doing so, she becomes an anchor, not just for me, but for everyone lucky enough to be in her orbit. Watching her handle life's immense challenges with such dignity and poise has taught me more than any textbook, any lecture, or any business success I have ever achieved. It's a living lesson in resilience. It's a constant reminder that true beauty lies in that inner fortitude and the courage to keep moving forward, even when the world is trying to pull you down. And then there's her mind, the way she thinks, the way she dreams, the way she challenges me to see the world from different perspectives. It's magnetic. She is relentlessly curious and deeply intelligent, but her intelligence is not wielded as a weapon. It's a tool for understanding, for connection, and for growth. She doesn't just accept things as they are. She questions them. She probes them. She seeks to understand the why behind everything. She pushes boundaries, not for the sake of rebellion, but for the pursuit of a better way. She believes in possibilities that most people wouldn't dare to imagine. Being with her isn't just a source of comfort, it's a catalyst for growth. Our conversations are not just exchanges of information, they are explorations. She stretches my thinking, pushes me out of my intellectual comfort zones, and forces me to consider dimensions of problems I had overlooked. She compels me to think bigger, not just for myself, but for us, for the world we want to help build. That is love beyond beauty. It's finding someone who doesn't just make your heart race, but also makes your mind expand. Every single day I spend with her is a reinforcement of profound truth. Physical beauty is fleeting, but character is eternal. Looks may fade, circumstances may change, but the core of who a person is, their kindness, their integrity, their intelligence, their unwavering support that only deepens and grows stronger with time. That is why I know this love is not temporary. It is not fragile. It is built on something far deeper than surface appearances. When I look at her, I don't just see the woman standing in front of me. I see the woman who inspires me to be better, who grounds me when my ambitions threaten to send me adrift, and who teaches me day by day what it truly means to love and be loved. And that's when I realize again and again that real love isn't about what you see on the outside. It's about the soul you choose to hold on to for a lifetime. Life has a way of testing us, of pushing us to our absolute limits. No matter how meticulously you plan, no matter how much you prepare for every contingency, storms will come. Sometimes they arrive quietly, like a persistent drizzle that slowly turns into a flood, eroding your foundations when you're not paying attention. Other times they hit like a lightning strike, sudden, violent, and overwhelming, leaving you disoriented and shattered. And it is in those moments, in the heart of the tempest, that you find out what really matters. You find out who really stands by your side. For me, she has been that anchor, the steady, unmoving presence I could hold on to when everything else in my world seemed to be falling apart. There were moments of profound doubt, times when the weight of public and private expectations felt too heavy to carry, times when failure wasn't just a distant possibility, it was a stark, brutal reality staring me in the face. A rocket exploding on the launch pad, a company on the brink of collapse, a vision derided by the world as a fool's errand. In those moments, it is terrifyingly easy to feel utterly alone. It's easy to believe that the world is against you, that perhaps you don't have the strength to keep going. But she never let me drown in those thoughts. And not for a second, she reminded me with her words, with her actions, and sometimes with nothing more than her quiet, unwavering presence, that storms are temporary, but love, if it is real, is not. She doesn't just comfort me, she strengthens me. And there is a critical difference between the two. Comfort gives you a place to rest, a temporary respite from the battle. Strength gives you the power to rise again and re-enter the fight. She has this uncanny ability to remind me of who I am, of what I am capable of, even when I have forgotten it myself. She mirrors back to me the best version of myself, not the broken man sitting in the rubble of a failure. And she does it without judgment, without criticism, just with a faith in me so pure and so unshakable that it becomes impossible not to start believing again. That kind of support doesn't just help you survive, it helps you rebuild stronger than before. I've seen over the years how easily people can walk away when things get tough. I've seen how quickly alliances can vanish when the bright shine of success begins to fade, when the struggles start to outnumber the victories. But she never wavered, not once. She stood in the middle of the storm with me, not because she had to, but because she chose to. And that choice, made day after day in the face of uncertainty and pressure, gave me the courage to face battles I never thought I could win. The truth is, anyone can stand beside you in the sunshine. That's easy. It requires no sacrifice, no real commitment. But the one who stays when the skies turn dark, the one who is willing to get drenched in the same rain that's falling on you, that's the one who truly loves you. She has been that person for me. The one who doesn't just share in the celebrations, but insists on sharing the weight of the burdens, the pain, the struggle. And in doing so, she has taught me one of the most important lessons of my life, that love is not about escaping hardship, it's about facing it together. I've learned that strength is not measured by how much you can carry alone, but by having the wisdom and vulnerability to let someone help you shoulder a load when it becomes unbearable. She is my partner in every sense of the word. She isn't just watched from the sidelines, she is in the trenches with me. And because of her, I know with absolute certainty that no matter how fierce the storm, no matter how daunting the challenge, I will never have to face it alone. Because the greatest gift in love is not the joy of the easy days. It's the unwavering, unconditional presence during the hardest ones. When two people truly love each other, their vision is never confined to the present moment. It's about the future they are consciously and deliberately building together. Falling in love is a powerful, almost involuntary event, but staying in love, growing in love, and creating a shared vision for a life together, that's where the real magic happens. That's where love transcends feeling and it becomes an act of creation. With her, it's never been about just what we have today, but about, what we can become tomorrow. Every dream I've ever had, every mission I've ever embarked upon feels more alive, more meaningful, because it isn't just mine anymore, it's ours. And what makes our partnership so powerful is that she doesn't just support my dreams, she brings her own to the table. She adds color, perspective, and a depth to my ambitions that I could never achieve on my own. She infuses my sometimes cold logical plans with warmth, humanity, and a sense of purpose that goes beyond the technical. When I think about the future now, my mind doesn't just jump to technological milestones or corporate achievements. It's a tapestry woven with shared experiences. It's about the quiet mornings we'll share, the thousands of conversations we'll have over coffee, the challenges we'll face side by side, and the legacy we will leave behind together. That is the profound beauty of building a dream with someone. Your perspective shifts from being about me to being about us. Your personal ambition evolves into a shared mission. Every great vision needs both passion and balance. I provide a relentless, sometimes reckless, forward momentum. She provides the wisdom and the balance where I may see challenges purely as engineering problems to be solved. She often sees the human element, the opportunities for connection and growth. Where I tend to push forward with relentless intensity, she reminds me to pause, to breathe, to appreciate the journey itself, and not just the destination. Together, we create a rhythm, a synergy that neither of us could ever find alone. It's not always a perfect harmony. There are disagreements, there are compromises, there are times when our individual visions clash, but those moments of friction only make the dream more real, more resilient, because they remind us that a true partnership is not about control or one person yielding to the other. It's about collaboration. It's about the hard, beautiful work of forging a single, stronger path from two separate ones. What I find most inspiring is how this love has transformed my ambition into something greater than personal achievement. It's now about building a home, not just a house, building a lifetime of memories, not just a series of moments. It's about building a life that reflects not only who we are as individuals, but who we become when we are together. And when two people align their hearts and their vision in this way, they create something that can outlast time itself. I've come to realize that the future isn't something you predict, it's something you create. And the greatest creation of all is not a piece of technology, not a successful company, not an accumulation of wealth. It's a love that manifests itself in a life built together, a life where both people lift each other higher, where every major decision is made with mutual trust and respect, and where every step forward is taken hand in hand. It's easy to dream alone, but it is extraordinary to dream with someone who believes in your vision completely and who invites you to believe in theirs just as deeply. That kind of partnership doesn't just change the direction of your life, it changes the entire meaning of it. And that is why I know, with a certainty that rivals my belief in the laws of physics, that this love will last a lifetime, because the dream we're building is bigger than either of us alone. It's the kind of dream that can only exist when two souls commit to walking the entire journey together. Commitment. It's a word that people often take lightly, a casual promise made in moments of fleeting emotion. But when you love someone with everything you are, it's not just a word. It's a promise that becomes the defining principle of the way you live. For me, loving her isn't about temporary feelings or the highs of fleeting passion. It's about a conscious, deliberate choice I make again and again, every single day, no matter what life brings our way. That is what eternal commitment means. It's not a naive belief that we will never face challenges. It's the resolute conviction that we will never let go of each other when those challenges arrive. There will always be moments that test a relationship. Moments when emotions run high, when misunderstandings happen, when the sheer weight of life tries to create distance and push you apart. But true commitment isn't shaken by those storms. It grows stronger in them. It is forged in the fires of adversity. With her, I've learned that loyalty is not about convenience. It's about consistency. It's about standing by her side even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, even when it requires personal sacrifice. Because, with every fiber of your being, that her presence in your life is worth more than anything you could possibly give up. This commitment isn't built on grand declarations made once a year. It's proven in the small, consistent actions of everyday life. It's in showing up when you say you will. It's in truly listening when she needs to be heard. It's in protecting her heart as if it were your own. And it's in the bigger things too. It's in making life decisions with her well-being at the forefront of your mind. Building a future where she feels safe, valued, cherished, and unconditionally loved. It's the profound realization that every choice you make affects not just you, but the sacred bond you share. And when you truly value that bond, you protect it with everything you have. For me, this commitment has never felt like a burden or a restriction. It feels like freedom. It is the freedom that comes from knowing that no matter how chaotic and invictable the world becomes, there is one constant I can always count on. Her, it means the search is over. It means not having to waste energy looking for something that is already miraculously right in front of me. It brings a sense of peace that I never knew was possible. The peace of knowing that I don't just have love today, I have love tomorrow, and for every single tomorrow after that. What makes a commitment eternal is the mutual decision to keep choosing each other, even as life inevitably changes you. We won't be the same people in 5 years, or 10 or 50. We will grow, we will evolve, we will be shaped by joys and sorrows we can't even imagine today. But my promise to her, and hers to me, is that no matter who we become, we will still be here, choosing each other, loving each other, and standing beside each other. Because eternal love isn't about freezing a moment in time. It's about growing together through time. And I know without a single doubt that there is nothing more powerful in this universe than two people who refuse to give up on each other. That is what makes love eternal. Not perfection, not an absence of conflict, not a life of uninterrupted ease, but an unshakable, unwavering decision to hold on through it all. Because at the end of the day, love is not just something you feel, it is something you choose. And I choose her, not just for now, but for always. When love is real, it doesn't just stay contained between two people. It possesses an energy that radiates outward, leaving an impact on the world that goes far beyond the relationship itself. The love I share with her is not just about us. It's about what it represents, what it teaches, and what it inspires in the hearts of others. When people see two individuals who truly stand by each other, who choose loyalty, respect, and trust above all else, it plants a seed of hope in a world that so often showcases division and cynicism. A genuine, committed partnership becomes a quiet testament to what is possible. It makes others believe that such a profound connection is not a relic of a bygone era or a fantasy from a storybook, but something real and attainable. I've noticed how a love like this naturally becomes an example. Our friends, our family, even strangers can sense it. They can see the way her presence brings a sense of calm into my often chaotic world. They can see that our connection is built on something far more substantial than surface-level attraction. And when they see it, it can serve as a gentle reminder for them to raise their own standards, to search for something deeper, something worth building a lifetime around. That is the incredible power of a love that inspires. It creates ripples, and those ripples reach much further than we can ever realize. What makes this love enduring as an example is not just the joy we share, but the way we face difficulties together. People aren't only inspired by the highlights, the smiles, the successes, the celebrations. They are truly inspired when they see a couple weather the storms of life without letting go of each other's hands. That resilience, that conscious choice to keep fighting for the relationship shows the world that it's not only possible to stay in love, but it's possible to grow stronger because of and through the struggles. And beyond our time here, I know this love will leave a mark. Imagine children growing up in a home where love is a constant, where respect and kindness are modeled every single day. Imagine future generations carrying forward the lessons of patience, forgiveness, and unwavering devotion simply because they saw it lived out before their very eyes. That is when love becomes more than personal. It becomes a legacy. It becomes something that doesn't just shape one life, but many. The truth is, the world doesn't need more examples of brokenness or fleeting connections. It needs more examples of love that endures, love that forgives, love that builds. And when you are blessed enough to find the person who becomes your forever, it's not only a gift for you, it's a gift for everyone around you. Because through your love, others are reminded that hope is real, that faith in another person is worth holding on to, and that true lasting commitment is still possible. And that is why I know the love I share with her isn't just for me. It is our story, but it's also a story that will hopefully continue to resonate long after we are gone. A story that will inspire others to believe in something greater than themselves. Because the greatest legacy any of us can leave behind is not what we build with our hands, but the love we build with our hearts, and the way that love lights the path for those who come after us. She is more than a dream. She is my partner, my anchor, my inspiration. She's my future wife, and she is my greatest legacy.